guys, Nathan here, back yet again bringing you guys another video, and in today's video we are going to be talking about my personal speculation, thoughts and brand new bits and pieces for this year's Fright Nights season of 2019. Now, previously on my last video which I made, I travelled all the way down to Thorpe Resort. Sandwich! Me and a couple of my friends, that being Callum, Sophie and Dylan, travelled down to Thorpe Park to have a look at all the different aspects on the clues to this year's Fright Nights season. See what's been going on around different areas of the resort. So if you hadn't known already, Fright Nights was teased probably about 3 weeks ago from now, and the first bit of info we got from Fright Nights regarding this was actually regarding the brand new attraction, which is Creekwood Sawmill. This maze can actually be located in the Old Town area of the resort, that being by Timber Tug, Lumber Jump, and what everyone knows as a very big part of speculation to this maze and the park's history, that is Loggers Leap. Now, I think as I'm talking about this now, I'm probably going to first talk about the Creekwood Sawmill and on my personal thought for the maze and what it's going to be like and integrated to the actual lineup. It's looking they go for quite an old western theme here, because obviously it's linked to Loggers Leap, so it makes quite a lot of sense. So what do we know about the maze so far? The resort are actually going to be using the back of the Loggers Leap station. So, by this image that I provided for you guys here, which was actually taken by the two main gates, which are just around the corner from Samurai, which is also located within the old town. I managed to get a picture of far back half of as much as I could see of the Loggers Leap station. Now, from these images provided by, I think it was South Parks, I'll link to whoever got this photo, but very well spotted. That image that I provided you, you can actually see the whole back of the Loggers queue line and everything is still intact. However, the image that we've been provided with now clearly shows that this part of the Loggers Leap station has been ripped out. So all the queue line for Loggers Leap station has been ripped out, and it seems to me that whole back half of Loggers Leap station queue line area is going to be used for this maze and for this attraction. So that's got me very excited, because this maze seems to be, probably will be held within the indoor section of Loggers and possibly the outdoor, not too sure. I reckon we're going to have a bit of a chainsaw ending going on, and that will be integrated into the outdoor area of Loggers Leap. But again, everything is speculation, and we're all clueless as to what's going to be going on for this year's Fright Nights, but that's my personal thoughts. I feel like that's leaning towards that side of things at the moment. Now, what else do we know about this brand new attraction, Creekwood Sawmill? So, as you can see by this image provided here as well, something very, very interesting that has got a lot of people heavily excited, especially the Save Loggers Leap group. But no, I'm really excited to see what this Sawmill is going to turn out like. And the reason I'm saying this is because it looks like this attraction is going to be held within the Loggers Leap station area, and this is going to bring back a lot of memories. So believe it or not, they have actually removed the whole station area of the trough. Now, if you don't know what I mean by trough, the trough is basically the track of what the boat sits in for the actual water ride itself, as it actually go around on the ride. I reckon they're going to be using some more of that wooden MDF panels to possibly overlay where the trough used to sit, so maybe we'll be using that whole area of the station instead of where these fences have been put in place to stop people walking over the trough, because I can't really see them otherwise using the station, otherwise that would be classed as unsafe. People could easily walk through the fences and then walk on the trough or accidentally trip or whatever. So I think they're probably going to be filled in with some kind of MDF panels, but that's just my personal thought. But no, what else do we know about this Sawmill attraction? Only a few bits and bobs that I spotted here and there. And believe it or not, if you want to know, and if you want to go and see more about the attraction itself and how the construction of the maze is taking place, I'd recommend going on the ride Samurai, because you get a really good glimpse at the back half of the attraction, and it's very, very easily to spot some key features about what we could be expecting from this brand new maze. So it looks like as well, the whole back half, I wasn't be able to get a glimpse of, obviously I wasn't able to take my phone or run cameras anything on Samurai itself, but the whole back roof, which was speculated about because we first spotted some scaffolding for this section of the Loggers station, this has actually had major work done to it. The whole back roof has been dropped a little and has been completely and utterly refurbished. That is really, really good to see that a lot of heavy work has been going into this amazing attraction, and I am expecting very, very big things and good things to come out of this maze, because it does look extremely interesting. So now that I've talked about what the brand new maze may feature and my personal speculation of what it's going to be laid out like, I think it's time to move on to what we know and what has been confirmed as the returning attractions for this year's Fright Nights lineup. So yes, Thorpe recently released a post regarding this year's Fright Night returning attractions. Now this all got me very hyped up, but also it did get a lot of people very, very down and quite sad. But again, there's nothing we can do, and I will explain the reason for this further in the video. But I'd like to now just confirm the returning attractions for this year's Fright Nights lineup. So, by the looks of things, we have got turning to this year's Fright Nights, previous year, The Walking Dead Living Nightmare, as expected, because it's AMC, still sponsored. The Walking Dead Do or Die. Now this is something I'm going to be talking about heavily in a second. We've got Blair Witch, Platform, and Containment. They are the 5 main mazes returning to this year's Fright Nights lineup. Now obviously you've got the Screenplex Cinema as well, but I don't really class this as an attraction. However, the biggest thing that everyone's quite sad about, and that is the return of Big Top. Now, is Big Top going to be returning to this year's Fright Nights lineup? Well, this kind of confirms that it's not as a maze, but then again, they may make it into a different maze. Maybe it's going to be named something different. Who knows? Because the props are still sitting there in Thorpe Farm. Things can still take place. You just got to give it time. But at this point in time, it's looking very unlikely that the Big Top is going to return how it was as a maze before. It's looking to be returning potentially as some kind of show. Now, moving on to my thoughts on The Walking Dead Do or Die. Now, as we are aware, we currently have sitting behind Rush Bouncezilla. Now, Bouncezilla actually ends on the 8th of September. Now, looking at this logically, Walking Dead Do or Die takes roughly a month to be put up. I think it was about a month or 3 to 4 weeks. Now, they would only have about 2 to 3 weeks to put this maze up. Now, will they be using all the same props and the containers and everything? Would it be laid out different? I highly doubt they will. I think it's just going to be the same. But I think they're going to be doing a few tweaks to it. But again, I highly doubt there's going to be maze going in Bounce's spot, personally, as I feel like it's going to be too late for an attraction to actually get up in time for the Fright Nights, as Fright Night starts on the 28th. But no, Do or Die. What are your thoughts? Personally, I feel like if they're going to put it somewhere, it's going to go where Sanctum is sitting, and that is Swarm Island, or behind Swarm Island. So that is still a space that they can use. I think there's been rumours that it's not part of the site no more, that it's just been used for private land, but I highly doubt that this is the case. I feel like if they're going to put Do or Die somewhere, it's going to be going in that space. So personally, I feel that's where it's going to go, but time will tell. Now, moving on to the other Walking Dead attraction, which we know as Living Nightmare. Now, Living Nightmare has just been Living Nightmare basically since it's been open. The only thing and changes we've seen to Living Nightmare has been Living Nightmare Extreme. Now, Living Nightmare Extreme was basically, it was pretty much just an addition of double the amount of actors, so you had about 20 in there in some stages. It went from ridiculous to the sublime in the matter of a second. But no, that was a really, really good attraction when it was as Living Nightmare Extreme. But will it return? I doubt that. But I reckon this year it's just going to be the same as Living Nightmare. But no, personally, I think Living Nightmare is going to return as it was in 2018. Now I'm going to be talking about Platform 15. Now, there was a lot of speculation that Platform 15 was going to be implemented into this new Crickwood Sawmill attraction. A lot of speculation went between myself and other YouTubers that it was going to be a joint maze. We didn't see a lot of activity within this area, but Thorpe have now confirmed this, that Platform's going to return how it was. I reckon they're still going to use the same layout. I think the houses are still going to be integrated into the maze. I feel like the tunnel is still going to be used. I think the same ending's going to be used again, but I feel like every time it's been implemented into the Fright Night, we have experienced at least one type of different ending to the maze. Last year it was actually where you had to huddle around as if there was like you was talking to some ghost, and then you was talking to the conductor basically, and then you got forced out of the actual attraction at the end. That was really good. I loved that layout to the maze in the end, and I really love that. I personally feel like if there's going to be any type of change to the platform, it's either going to be the tunnel shortened or even extended, or there may be some tweaks as to how it's laid out in the slightest. But I think platform, it's just going to stay the same. I mean, the only thing that's going to change is again the tunnel either being made shorter or the ending being made different. I think we're going to have a different ending for this year, but like, I'm really interested and cannot wait to step into platform, because that was one of the most exciting and thrilling mazes that I experienced last year at Fright Nights, and it has definitely had a good run since it opened. Now, moving on to containment. Now, there's not really much to talk about here. Containment it's basically just having its same old refurbishment from every year it's been opened. I mean, if you want to check out all of my latest updates on construction for these mazes, there is going to be a link provided right here or right there, it's either side of my head. Just click it and it will take you straight to a video covering all the latest construction updates for this year's Fright Nights. But no, in regards to containment, not much said. There's not going to be much changes personally. I reckon I may change some type of layout to how much time you have to get out of the rooms or something. But again, I'm personally not too sure. But containment, I feel like it's going to stay the same, and I'm excited to get back into that escape room again for this year's Fright Nights. So next up, I'm going to be talking about Blair Witch. Blair Witch is probably one of the main mazes which has the most changes done to it, but when I first experienced it, it was in 2016, when it was just based off the first film and not the second film, because the second film hadn't come out by then. The Blair Witch back then wasn't too much exciting. It's probably one of the worst mazes they've actually did. It was literally just a matter of fact, you go through, you walk through, and literally actors just jump out of a bush with a torch. The only most exciting bit was the shed at the end, and again, that still wasn't that much thrilling either, to be honest. However, over the years, Blair Witch has had massive treatment to it, and in fact, don't get me wrong, I feel like it's had the big treatment. Back in 2018, last year, we experienced Blair Witch, and at its full potential, it was an astonishing attraction, and I thoroughly enjoyed that attraction. That was definitely in my top 3 of the mazes last year, and brilliant, really enjoyed it. Some people may disagree, but personally, I think the work they've done for that maze is just astonishing. The layout of it, the theming aspects, the different types of interactions you get with all the theming as well as the actors, it's just, it's incredible. And I feel like this year, by the looks of what we've seen recently, I feel like there's going to be a bit of a layout change in regards to Blair Witch, because as you can see by this image provided in my construction update and vlog, clearly see that they are going for quite a zigzag themed here. So you'll go like back on yourself on some routes. So maybe this is to implement actors like, so they'll be in front of you 1 minute, they're behind you. I mean, it's really exciting to see what they're doing here, but you can clearly see that there's definitely some layout changes coming to Blair Witch this year, and I'm really interested to see how much different Blair Witch is going to be. And I'm really excited to get back in the maze, because it's definitely one of my favourite mazes on the resort that had actually had some work done to it. So, I mean, great attraction, can't wait to step back to the Blair Witch. Now, just to clear the air, because I know some people are still a bit confused about this maze and everything, I'd just like to confirm, as you can tell by this, we can clearly see that Saw Alive is not returning to this year's Fright Nights lineup. And don't get me wrong, really did break my heart a little, because that maze, every Friday night personally, I just think it creates so much atmosphere. And not just that, it's just a really historic part of the actual resort. If you want to know more about this attraction, please do click this link above to my previous video, which I covered everything about specifically Saw Alive. Now, I'd recommend doing this if you don't actually know anything about the actual maze itself. But no, Saw Alive not returning to this year. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Are you pleased it's not returning, or are you going to miss this attraction at the resort? Because personally, I'm going to miss it. Don't get me wrong, they needed something new, but yeah, I'm quite pleased it's gone, but then again, I'm also quite disappointed. But no, Saw Alive, you will be remembered at the resort. So, what do we know about the new fears released at the resort? So, Thorpe Park, believe it or not, released a new blog post, and this was regarding what we were speculating for a while, and it was all the new fears coming to this year's Fright Nights lineup. So what we know so far, we have 3 new fears coming to this year's Fright Nights lineup. So what does this actually mean? This means, believe it or not, that there is going to be 9 attractions for this year's Fright Nights lineup. I think that's 1 less than last year. Now, if you go onto the Thorpe Park website, and if you go to the Fright Nights link, which is located on the page, and if you click the top 3 bars, you click events, and under events you click Fright Nights, this will take you to the Fright Nights page. Now, if you scroll down, it will tell you all the returning attractions, and then you'll have these 3 question marks. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Now, we're going to go through these one by one. Starting off with New Fear 1. In the description, they mention this. This year, join us for a demonstration of dread in this terrifying, never-before-seen Fright Nights show. Now, what does this tell us? Well, from reading this, the key things in here that we want to take into account is never-before-seen and show. Now, show could mean various different things. First of all, you're probably all going, oh, the Big Top Showtime is returning. Now, don't look too far into it. It doesn't necessarily mean that the Big Top Showtime will be returning. This could mean various different things. This could mean that maybe we could be seeing some kind of Big Top implemented show elsewhere. Could we be seeing it on the beach? Would it be located somewhere else throughout the park? Or would it be the Showtime again, but would it be redesigned and reimagined, or just a different show put on? No one knows at this point. There was speculation that this could possibly mean the Big Top Maze is returning, because obviously the Big Top, it's circus, so it's a show. Maybe they could mean it's going to be the Big Top's coming back, it's going to be redesigned and located elsewhere. You don't know. You never know with Thorpe. Thorpe could tell you one thing, they could tell you something completely different. But again, this is probably one of the most speculated new fears that's going around at the moment. So if you want to know anything about this year's Fright Nights, I would highly keep an eye on New Fear 1, because it's probably the most interested one out of the 3. Moving on to New Fear 2. In the description it mentions this. New for 2019, have you got the guts to take on this chilling challenge? Now, obviously the key word we've got here is challenge. So obviously in regards to the past, we had Zombie Hunt. And Zombie Hunt, I guess you could class it as a challenge, because it was like laser tag kind of thing. You had to get a certain amount of points by the end. Do I think Zombie Hunt's returning? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Now, when it comes to challenge, you may be thinking, will it be hosted in Jungle Escape? This is all obviously up in the air at the moment, it's speculation. There is a high possibility that they could use Jungle Escape's space, as obviously, and they may make it themed to a Fright Nights attraction. No one knows at this point. However, another location that they could use is obviously Zombie Hunt's route. The reason I'm saying this is because theming can actually be spotted down to the entrance of the platform, and it seems to be like a Walking Dead kind of related like prop kind of thing. It's basically an arm and it's just got gory blood splattered all over it. But then again, this could also be associated to this year's brand new attraction, Sawmill. So could we be seeing a challenge associated to this Sawmill, or will we be seeing a challenge associated to The Walking Dead? Who knows at this point. Personally, I feel like this challenge is going to be hosted down Zombie Hunt's route, because don't think they wouldn't want to leave that route open. I feel like that route's going to be used at some point. Plus, I don't think I'd want to rebrand Jungle Escape. I feel like they're going to want to keep that as it is for next year. Keep that maybe as for a paid attraction. But, so lastly, we're going to talk about New Fear 3. We talked about this earlier, and that's brace yourself and prepare for the gruesome worst as you take on this new for 2019 horror maze. So this is obviously got to be this Sawmill, Creekwood Sawmill attraction. It makes the most sense considering we've had the most hints to this maze. Now actually, if you go to Old Town, there's actually barcodes, and the picture of the Sawmill actually, well, we know it's the Lockers Leap Station now, which is associated with the maze. As you scan the barcode, it does actually just take you to the Thorpe Park Fright Nights website. However, I think somewhere further down the line it's going to take you to this New Fear 3 page, and it will be the page for this attraction, which would make perfect sense. But no, they are all the new free fears coming to this year's Fright Nights lineup. I hope you're excited just as much as I am, because I cannot wait to share you guys all the information and elements and implementations to this year's Fright Nights. I just can't wait to experience all the mazes in full action. I'm so excited, I can't wait to bring you guys along with. But with that being said, I'm going to end this one here. I hope you guys are looking forward to Fright Nights this year, because I thoroughly am, and it's going to be one hell of a journey. I can't wait to take you guys along with me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, and peace.